you guys follow roofing building trades materials, like if you look at the metal, shingles, they have one thing in common. Every year we have new products coming up to the market, but they have one thing in common. They all want to look like cedar, like real wood, like shakes. Some might argue that cedar roofs, and we will have a conversation at this booth about it, it's not sustainable, it's old school, we have to be thinking green, and we cannot have too many cedar roofs. I want to have that conversation with people who sell cedars to us. Can you introduce yourself? Where are you from? What do you do?
Sure. My name is Mark Carroll. I'm with East End Cedar. I'm out of Annapolis, Maryland. Been selling cedar shakes and shingles for 22 years.
Okay.
I sit on the board of directors for the Cedar Shake and Shingle Bureau. Take it very seriously, and it is very sustainable. No doubt about it.
It is sustainable?
Absolutely. It's actually a renewable resource, right?
Okay.
So when we actually go out and forest, it's a very responsible practice. So every tree we cut, we will replant 6 to 10 trees. We're responsible for that land for 10 years.
Okay.
After, for the reforestation, proper percentages of the same species, and we don't do it irresponsibly, right? We go out and cut small areas and repopulate and actually renew the forest through the forestry practices.
How can you explain that cedar over the years been declining? Something like metal is, I think, the biggest trend. Like, metal in sales keep increasing. Is it driven by cost? Is it driven by labor? What are the drivers of decline in sales? Or is it a look? Because when it ages, it just looks ugly.
Well, I think to your point, there are a lot of products out there that are trying to look like cedar.
Sure.
And these man-made products, which generally are not renewable resources, a lot of them are based on petroleum-based products. They're trying to perpetuate the fear of a cedar roof. If you really put the thought process into cedar roofing, it's been around for thousands of years. I mean, this was by First Nation people using it in long homes for roofing because it does shed the moisture. So the product actually is a very reliable product. It's not going away, but certainly supply has been a bit of an issue for us. Cost has been a bit of an issue for us, and perpetuating this fear of the product. There is probably maybe a bit of a lack of understanding of the product, which maybe makes it a little more difficult to get full distribution of the product on the market, and that's what we try to do. That's why we're here at FRSA, to try to educate the market and let them know, hey, look, cedar's here to stay. It's been around again for thousands of years, and if you do it right, it will last.
Sure. Show me some options what you have here. What is this piece? That's what I want to know. This is so cool.
This is what I consider a fishing lure here in Florida. So this is a 2.5-inch hand split shake, considered a jumbo. Very unlikely that you'd ever see this in real practice on a roof, but we do have it on the booth table because we get a lot of people come by and say, wow, what is that thing?
Where would you see it, and what properties? Like, it would be like some museum, I don't know.
Exactly. This is something that's probably more for...
and how much something like this would cost for like 20
this something like this, it would almost be impossible to get it today. What we do have in this vein...
I thought it's sustainable.
Well, yeah, but you can't make it. That's the problem. So this is the product, actually. So this would be a heavy hand split, both CCA treated or natural, and a medium. So these would actually be the sizes that you would see in that rustic split face. And we do sell these every day.
What's your biggest markets for cedar? Where do you ship the most?
Well, New England obviously is that old craftsman. There's a lot of cedar that goes up in New England, down through the Mid-Atlantic. We've got a very good market throughout the Mid-Atlantic. Florida is kind of a pocketed market. You have certain areas that really embrace the cedar market. I mean, really, if you look at the benefit of having cedar on the roof, especially in a coastal market like in Florida, a shake has a 245 mile an hour wind uplift, a shingle's 173. So you look at an area like the Outer Banks of North Carolina. If you ever drive down the highway through the Outer Banks, everything is cedar. And when a storm hits North Carolina, I get very little business from that storm. In the meantime, you've got a lot of the man-made products that are getting total re-roof, total re-siding because the storm really did tremendous amount of damage. So,
would you say that metal is your biggest competition now because of wind uplift, mainly?
Wind uplift it's just one of the natural benefits of cedar. Our main competition probably is asphalt. I mean, metal's become a big part of, people are looking to differentiate the architectural style a little bit, get away from some of the traditional really, when I say traditional, I mean asphalt roofing. But asphalt still is the major competitor of roofing, I think, across the board. The wind uplift is not the only benefit. The R value of cedar generally is about 19% better than asphalt roofing. So it really holds your heating and air conditioning in your house. Um, you know, not to mention the natural beauty of the product.
On the way here on the airplane, I actually happened to watch a documentary from California about the city that was burned, Paradise. It was completely Paradise City. So I believe 5 years ago, completely burned down the entire community. And
Sure.
I'm watching it. It actually was very disturbing. Like people were living, the whole city got burned out.
Right, right.
So I have to ask about fire rating in states like California. I don't think them installing it with all the fires they have
So-
every year.
So
How big of the concern is a fire
So
rating?
the fact of the matter is, house fires, less than 1% of house fires start on the roof. So
Yeah, but they don't start there, but they contribute. Like even if you have like forest
hard
fire.
to argue. Hard to argue. We do offer fire-treated products. So if you're getting into areas where fire spread is an issue, and that could be anywhere from California through wildfires, or it could be towns like I'm from, Annapolis, Maryland, where you have a colonial town that houses are just right on top of one another. We do offer fire retardant pressure impregnated chemicals, so we can offer a Class C or a Class B rating with those treatments. We can step it up to a Class A by combining it with
But
certain
it's gonna
underlayments.
add to the cost, right?
It does add to the
And
cost.
how much does it add to the cost if you do go that route?
You know, if you go that route, it's probably somewhere in the range of 20% for fire treatment. Yeah, and take a look.
What's the biggest misconception that people have about cedar? What most even contractors don't know? Kind of myth about cedar.
Well, the myth about cedar is that probably the biggest myth about cedar is it's not what it used to be. That people think that we're all going out and cutting old growth fiber. There's certainly been, like every part of business, there are people that are trying to kind of get by with doing less. We don't do that. Everything I sell is certified by the Cedar Shake and Shingle Bureau. Cedar Shake and Shingle Bureau has been around for over 100 years, and everything that we sell is inspected. Everything's guaranteed to be on grade. So I think the biggest myth is cedar's not what it used to be. These trees are still very, very old, and over half of what we actually cut is recovery wood. There's trees that have been blown down, they're laying in the forest floor, they go out and they block them into 18 and 24-inch blocks, fly them out. So it's not necessarily we're going out into areas and deforesting those areas. A lot of it is recovery. So the biggest myth, again, would be that cedar's not what it used to be. It's the same tree, and this is some old growth fiber.
What's the industry? How big is the cedar market? And what can you produce? I mean, right now, asphalt shingles is 80% of the market, 150 million squares a year. What's like, how many forests do we have?
Well, again, it's a renewable resource, right? So and there is a ton of protected land in the Pacific Northwest, and cedar really grows from Northern California through Alaska. So there's a lot of protected land that we'll never log, that we'll never get into. What segment of the market, the roofing market, you're probably less than 5%, overall. Again, because it is a renewable resource, right? And when we go into logging areas, it's called tree farm licensing. So it's treated like a farming practice. So you go in, you can farm, you can deforest that small area that is approved by the Minister of Forestry, and then come back and reforest the area. So it will be around for future generations, because we're not deforesting and building houses. You deforest a small area, and then you reforest, you repopulate. So again, being a renewable resource and having a very low carbon footprint, it's a very green roofing product.
Would you say that labor shortage also contributes to decline in cedar demand, maybe because not many people, it takes longer, not many people installing it? I mean, if we can install faster asphalt shingles because we don't have many workers, does it affect you guys?
It does affect us, there's no doubt. And that's why we do shows like the FRSA. We're trying to get out here, get to the contractors. And I'm a wholesale distributor, so I sell through distribution, but I like to partner down the line into the market, be a partner not just with the contractors, but the homeowners. Walden Forest Products is one of my key mills that I do business. We put warranties on our product. We register their warranties with a number, hand sign and ink that goes to the contractor and to the homeowner, because we want to partner down line. And that does go to educating the contractors on how to put it down properly.
You mentioned warranty. What kind of warranty do you issue for Cedar?
So you have mill warranties, which are manufacturer's defects. So we'll guarantee you won't have a problem with the roof because it's not cut to code, basically. We also offer warranties like we talked about the fire treatment, fire retardant warranty. If it has been pressure impregnated with that fire retardant chemical, that it is guaranteed to be fire retardant for a period of 30 to 50 years, depending on the product. The CCA, pressure impregnated preservative product, gives you either a 30-year transferable or a 50-year non-transferable warranty against rot or decay. So we do put some nice warranties, and they're really ironclad. We stand behind the product. We want to get more people interested in putting the product down because, again, it is a very green product. It is a renewable resource. It does have that wind uplift. It does have, the ability to really beautify an area. I mean, look at Nantucket, for example. If you went to an island like Nantucket, which is all cedar shakes and shingles, and redid that entire island with different building products, it's going to be a different island. Or it's going to change the look. It's going to change the feel. Cedar brings a natural beauty. I think natural building products in general, stone, slate, cedar, bring a natural beauty to a home and to a community that you can't replace with a man-made product.
I have to agree. Guys, comment below your thoughts about cedar roofing. Is it a thing of the past, or we're gonna have it back? Would you install cedar on your house? Give it a like. For Annapolis, love name of the city, Maryland, for Cedar Company, comment below, give it a like. I want to hear from you, your honest thoughts on cedar. See you guys in the next video.